The year is 1763. The ink is barely dry on the Treaty of Paris, redrawing the map of North America and ushering in a new era for Canada. France cedes its Canadian territories to Great Britain. For the French-speaking Canadians and Indigenous peoples, profound change begins. The Royal Proclamation of 1763, issued by King George III, recognizes Indigenous rights and sets aside lands west of the Appalachian Mountains. It also aims to assimilate the French-speaking population into British culture. English law is introduced and French language use is discouraged. This attempt at assimilation faces immediate challenges. The Canadians resist, rooted in their language, culture, and Catholic faith. The British face the task of administering a vast and diverse territory. Early British rule is marked by a delicate balancing act. The seeds of change are sown, testing, and reshaping the relationship between Britain and its Canadian colony. The story of Canada's British era is one of adaptation, conflict, and the forging of a new nation. Across the border, discontent with British rule is brewing in the 13 colonies. By 1775, this discontent explodes into open revolution. The American Revolution sends shockwaves through Canada, forcing the Canadians and Indigenous peoples to choose sides. Many Canadians, wary of the anti-Catholic sentiments among some revolutionaries, choose to remain loyal to the British Crown. This loyalty is rewarded with the Quebec Act of 1774, which recognizes the Catholic Church in Quebec and reinstates French civil law. The American Revolution also leads to an influx of loyalists, those who remained faithful to Britain, into Canada. These loyalists, predominantly English-speaking and Protestant, settle primarily in what are now Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Ontario. Their arrival alters the demographic landscape of Canada and contributes to growing tensions between the French and English-speaking populations. The post-revolution years are a time of significant change and growing pains for Canada. The influx of loyalists, the increasing desire for representative government, and the ongoing tensions between the French and English-speaking populations all contribute to a sense of unease and a yearning for greater autonomy. As the 19th century unfolds, calls for greater political reform and self-governance grow louder in Canada. The existing system, with its appointed councils and limited representation, fails to address the concerns of many colonists. In both Upper and Lower Canada, present-day Ontario and Quebec, frustration with the ruling elite boils over into open rebellion in 1837. Though quickly suppressed, the rebellions serve as a wake-up call for the British government. Lord Durham is dispatched to investigate the root causes of the unrest. His report, published in 1839, recommends uniting Upper and Lower Canada under a single government and granting the colony responsible government. Responsible government, a radical concept at the time, means that the executive branch of government would be accountable to the elected Legislative Assembly, not to the British-appointed governor. This recommendation, though initially met with resistance, paves the way for greater autonomy and self-determination for Canada. The rebellions of 1837 to 38, while ultimately unsuccessful in achieving their immediate goals, mark a turning point in Canadian history. They forced Britain to confront the realities of governing a colony on the cusp of nationhood. Confederation, forging a new nation. The idea of a united Canada proposed in Lord Durham's report gains traction in the following decades. Political leaders in the British North American colonies recognized the need for unity in the face of growing American expansionism and economic challenges. The stage is set for Confederation. In 1867, after years of negotiations and debate, the British North America Act is passed by the British Parliament. This landmark act unites Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and the province of Canada, which is divided into Ontario and Quebec, into a single federation, the Dominion of Canada. Confederation marks a pivotal moment in Canadian history. It is a bold experiment in federalism, bringing together provinces with distinct identities and interests. The new Dominion of Canada, though still a British colony, is granted significant autonomy over its internal affairs. The creation of Canada is not just a political union, it is the birth of a new nation, one forged from diverse cultures and united by a shared destiny. The march to autonomy, from dominion to independent nation. The decades following Confederation are a time of rapid growth and transformation for Canada. The country expands westward, New provinces join the Federation, and a sense of national identity begins to solidify. Canada's participation in World War I strengthens this burgeoning nationalism. The country asserts its independence on the world stage. The Statute of Westminster in 1931 recognizes Canada's full legislative independence. Though Canada retains ties to the British Crown, it is now a sovereign nation. Like and subscribe to Emgotvhistory Warfare for more stories.